Shalom Temple Israel, Chag Sameach. Thank you for joining me in my sukkah. I hope that you're all having a great Sukkot. We've had some lovely services and great events in our virtual sukkahs, and I've liked seeing people driving in and out of the parking lot using the Temple Israel sukkah. I moved to Charlotte in the summer, and the Jewish communal organizations have mostly had their physical doors closed because of the pandemic. And you walk through Shalom Park and you realize that there's so much that would be happening on a normal summer and a normal year that's not happening right now. So I've learned about the Charlotte Jewish community very slowly, very piece by piece. I don't get to see it all in action. But this week I got to learn about two wonderful parts of the Charlotte Jewish community. Just a few minutes ago, we finished our monthly Lunch and Learn, and we heard from Yaakov Walker. Yaakov is a congregant at Temple Israel, but he's also part of the Black Israelite community and a part of the Karaite Jewish community. And he shared with us some of the Karaite Jewish traditions about Sukkot, how it's similar to the way we conventionally think about Sukkot and how it's different. And if you aren't part of the class, I really encourage you to go on to our YouTube page and watch the recording of the class and learn about his connection to Sukkot and how Sukkot is observed in different parts of the Jewish world. The second part of the Jewish community that I learned about this week was the Jewish Community Refugee Initiative, or JCRI. And I got to speak to a group of volunteers who were putting together care packages for the drive-through sukkah, where refugees from other countries who have settled here in Charlotte can drive through the sukkah covering and pick up bags of groceries that they need. And I learned about how the JCRI helps them get acclimated to life here in America, very important work. And it's really fitting that we're doing this kind of work on Sukkot, because Sukkot is the holiday on which we remember when we were refugees. The story of Sukkot is that our booths commemorate the huts that our ancestors lived in as they left Egypt and traveled to Israel. They were refugees fleeing from oppression in a land that had been their home but was no longer their home. And they were seeking a new home in the land of Israel. But on the way, they were a group of people fleeing danger. They were a group of people who didn't really know how to survive in the conditions that they were in. And all along their trip, they were attacked by other people. They were mistreated by the nations that they passed through. Their experience as refugees was made worse by the people they encountered. Once they made it to the land of Israel, they started to observe Sukkot as a way to remember that experience. And that's something that we still do every year. We put up our Sukkot and we come out here to remember what it was like when we did not have permanent homes. And I learned a wonderful teaching this year about the practice of ushpizin. I've spoken about the practice of inviting in spiritual guests like Abraham and Moses and Deborah and Ruth. And Rabbi Isaac Luria, the Kabbalist, asks, why do we invite in imaginary people? Why do we invite in guests who are not actually going to come? And he answers that we invite guests who won't show up so that we will have extra food ready to give to people who need it. And that's exactly what JCRI was doing this week. By providing food to people who need it, we were celebrating some of the most important parts of Sukkot. And I find it really reassuring that even though we can't come together as actual ushpizin in our Sukkot, even though we can't have over the family and friends we would like, we can still take the lessons of Sukkot and give them outwards and support people who are hungry, be they refugees or be they other people in our community. We can still fulfill the mitzvah of the sukkah, of learning from our experience as refugees and helping others ease their way. So let me wish you all a Chag Sameach, and I'm looking forward to celebrating Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah with you this coming weekend. Shabbat Shalom.